Saying yes has gotten me in more trouble than saying no. I really think that we should start saying no more often. When you say yes too much, you end up in situations that are unfavorable for you. You end up losing money, wasting time, burnt out emotions. I think we just need to start saying no, not just to other people, but we need to start saying no to ourselves. Because even when we say yes to ourselves too often, again, we end up in situations that is unfavorable for us. It's hard to succeed. You end up taking setback after setback after setback, saying yes to everything, or it's just simply saying yes too often. You have to know when to say no to yourself. You have to also be aware of when to say no to other people, because trust me, they have no limits. They'll ask the world of you and wouldn't give you crap. So you have to know when to say no. People will push your boundaries. And if you're in a relationship and you're afraid to say no, then you're not in a relationship. You're in a dictatorship. You're being held hostage. Who wants a situation like that? You know, I had an interesting conversation with someone earlier this morning, and we were talking about saying no and how we needed to say no to our partners sometimes. And he said that if you say no, she's going to leave. Then so be it. And honestly, we need to be in that. We need to have that mindset. If we say no and they decide to leave, then so be it. They're not there with you for the right reasons anyway. It doesn't make you any less honorable saying no. If anything, it makes you more honorable because you're being true to yourself. Whoever you're dealing with, you're being true to them. Because if you say yes to something that you're really hesitant about, you're lying to yourself, you're lying to them, you're even lying to the universe. The universe won't know what to send your way if you lie to it. Just like you can't fix a situation that you don't know about. Or you can't fix a situation once you get too deep into it because you kept saying yes. And then when you finally had enough, guess what? Now that situation is destroyed. All because you kept saying yes. Now, I'm a big believer in being positive and helping people, but you have to know your limit. I'm a, I'm a I'm a big believer in helping people. I'm a big believer in being honest too. And the honest thing is to say no sometimes, especially when you know it's going against your morals, your standards. When it's going against your standards, it's okay to say no. Just protect yourself. Saying no protects not only you, but it protects your time. It protects your finances. It protects your emotions. If saying no means that they leave, then so be it. They're not around you for the right reasons. And then on the flip side of that, if you say yes at a moment that you really want to say no, then you're doing your own self harm. Why would you do that to yourself? That's a indicator that you may be lacking some self love. You know, you have to say no. I don't care where you are in the world, who you're dealing with. You have to be able to say no. You have to say no to yourself. No, I know I'm sounding redundant, but repetition and beating it in your own head that you have to say no. There's nothing wrong with it. If anything, sometimes being more strategic with your yeses actually can be more beneficial to yourself and other people. But you can't pour from an empty cup. If you keep saying yes, eventually your cup is going to run dry. And then who's going to fill your cup up? Ain't nobody else gonna fill it up for you. You're gonna be responsible for that. So why put more pressure on yourself? Why put more pressure on yourself? Seriously. Learn to say no. It's vital. And take it from me, as a person that has says yes way too often. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't protect the future. It doesn't make them stay. They still going to leave at some point. When you run dry, they going to leave. And if you're in a situation like that, again, it don't matter where you are. If the well runs dry and they leave, good riddance. Good riddance. Because they wasn't there for the right reasons. It doesn't matter where in the world you are. If somebody would leave when your well runs dry, no. And you have to be more cautious of the environments you are in, the people you're dealing with. If your no turns them away, or or put you down, or leave you alone, or whatever, because you said no about something, this is the wrong people. So have some self-love. When you have a strategic no and strategic yeses, you will attract the right people. The right people will come around and stick around. But you can't be afraid. You have to be brave enough to say no. And then if the person leaves, good riddance. They're doing you a favor. They're doing you a favor when they leave, when you say no. When you show some self-restraint, self-love, and they take that as a spite, they take that as you put, as a negative. They take your no as a negative and they leave because you said no. No. Better than me. I'm not saying yes to everything. If anything, I say no to most things. But, we gotta change, man. We gotta start protecting ourselves and quit picking up all this damage, unnecessary damage, because we're saying yes when we really should be saying no. And sometimes saying no can be hard. It can be hard, but it's necessary. It's a part of self-preservation. You have to say no. People tell you no. People tell you no. So what's wrong with you saying no? What's wrong with you having a no? Don't think other people are more superior than you, because they not. You can say no. You don't have to be the butt of everybody's, drama or their trauma. You don't have to be the butt of that. They can tell you no, you can say no too. They're preserving themselves. Why not preserve yourself? Yeah, Mr. Stepdaddy preaching today. But I want to welcome y'all to Life Without Limits Worldwide. My name is Mario. Please, if you feel like you got anything from this episode, like and subscribe. Tell me your experiences with no's and yeses. Do you have a strategy with your no's and yeses? Tell me in the comments. Until next time, peace and love.